So we're live again.
Hi. Happy Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Feels like a Monday for me.
Double Monday week.
Yes.
That's not good. Well, we do this. I don't think we've told anybody why we're doing this,
Okay.
right?
You're right.
We didn't really explain that. We've talked about a couple of things.
Yeah.
Your hair, your kids.
It's true. Yeah.
But really what we're talking about is we're always asked what it's like to be a shrink. So that's really what we're talking about, right? Because it's somewhat, I think it's a lot really misunderstood.
Yeah.
What it's like to have a mental health, we'll say problems. And it's not even always a disorder, but a mental health or emotional problem, and what getting help is like. It's this huge amount of misconception about that. So we're just trying to put some of that to rest.
Break the myths.
Break the myths, right. And the stigma, and people think it's really scary, or they're so afraid to come in. And as we mentioned in one of our sessions, we want to be a little bit more approachable, a little bit easier, less fearful, to come in and learn about you. I mean, it's like not knowing the third floor of your house by not understanding your emotions and where they come from. And we touched to last week.
Yeah.
Do a quick recap, right?
Yeah. We touched about, the 3 negative emotions that people mostly don't deal with or know how to deal with.
Right.
Anger, neediness, and sadness.
Say it with us. Anger, neediness, and sadness are not bad things. No. They're not bad feelings. But Joelle's mentioning that people trying to hide those, or people who think that those are a problem or they shouldn't have them, that's the source of most emotional problems right there.
Yeah.
So we see that a lot. We'll probably talk about that a lot. And then I added that one post about how we see, even though we see that in both men and women, there's some differences we see in men and women in that regard. And I wrote a little post about that got a little attention, I would say. How would I sum that up? I think I would say that our society, there's still a stigma in our society, still makes it hard for men to emote and still keep their masculinity. So that's what I was talking about. I was talking about how women have come a long way with their ability to emote, of course. I think that's always been easier or more acceptable for women, but we had trouble with our aggression back in the latter century, in the dark ages, before you were born.
I know. I was like, well,
right, that's okay, you can say it. And but we in the 50s, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, came a long way. So now we can be in the workforce, and we can go for gold medals, and we can be on sports teams and all that. And so I think we've bridged the gap on aggression and passivity, or emoting in action, however you want to put that, better than men. I think men just haven't caught up with us in terms of their ability to emote and feel
masculine,
intact, as I say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have pretty much devoted our attention to men, executive men, with relationship problems, because they have this history. The society has that echo. But also to make it even more complicated, they're encouraged to be aggressive, and they're rewarded for being aggressive in the workplace.
Yes, they are.
Right, but at home or with an intimate relationship, either they act aggressive
and they get in trouble,
right, or they get really passive and get in trouble, because then they aren't able to say what they really want, what they really need. So the relationship goes south.
Yeah.
Would you say, what would you say with women, the emotional problems, the differences we see there? Because sometimes women have trouble emoting too.
I think, even though for me, at least in what I've been dealing with lately, it might surprise you, but I do think sometimes some women have trouble with neediness.
Yeah.
Even though you can think of all the, stereotypical, like, needy women wanting all these things, but a lot of the people that I've spoken to, they think neediness is a bad thing. So they always are trying to please, whether it's their family, their friends, their significant other, without worrying about themselves. So
Yeah.
they don't realize that it's okay to be needy, even though, everyone has needs,
Right.
and they're supposed to need others.
So that kind of goes against the old, I would say, stereotype where women, were better for being needy or encouraged to be needy.
Yeah.
Or
like that the husband had to take care of the wife.
Yes, encourage the passivity was feminine back in the day. So here's an example where it sort of bucks that trend where they're uncomfortable with expressing needs, even though we know they're normal.
Yeah.
So, it's so that's where people think, oh, women, they can emote. They're so good at emoting, but we see that it's a conflict for them a lot of the time too.
With anger.
Anger
with children, with their kids sometimes.
Yeah, that's where I see a difference. So I think women who feel angry or have difficulty expressing anger because they feel it's not feminine or not right or not something like that. It's not the right thing to do. Whereas men actually are terrified that their anger is going to turn into something physical.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different. I don't see that with women so much. They're afraid they're going to get physical and actually kill or hurt somebody. But men just really think it's going to be like 0 to 100 that they're going to admit, I feel anger, and then kill or maim.
Yeah.
So it's really have to slow that down.
Yeah. And I think it's hard for men or for anybody, for people that think that anger is 0 to 100. It's because usually they've seen that in the past that, oh, when my dad got angry, he got angry.
Right.
But so to them, that's where they got that mindset to think that, versus realizing that, okay, when they got angry, they talked about it and it was okay because it was a natural emotion.
Right. So they're sort of what we call identifying with the father, like, okay, I'm going to be like that, be like him, and go from feeling anger. What they didn't realize, and we have to teach them, is that what they're seeing is the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
Because the father probably buried everything and then blew up. The son missed the whole preamble.
Yeah.
And we have to teach them that, no, in fact, just the opposite. If you think about it and emote and deal with the anger, it won't build to that level and you won't lose control. But it's easier said than done.
I know. I think I still have to remind myself that every day.
Right. So that's why we're here, to make that an easier process for everybody to understand. And, wouldn't it be nice if every lay person really understood what we understand now with emotions? It'd be a lot better place.
I know.
Well, thank you for joining us again today. And if you have any questions or comments, we'll take comments or suggestions. We'll take those too. Just type us a little note or give us a call. All the information's on our page.
All right. Have a good Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday, Monday.
Oh, yeah.